We're good. Okay.
Okay, guys. Well, so should we make an introduction?
No,
Well, oh yeah. Well, we're reading the
Hitchhickers
Hitchhiker's
Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay, so what do you think of the book so far?
Well, you guys, should we give like a summary of what happened so far?
No.
Well, yeah. Let's give a summary of what happened so far. Do you want to do it, John?
Well, he is the guy.
I think we should each give a summary. We should each give a summary and then compare and contrast, because that'll help us get half an hour.
Okay. So Arthur Dent, the main character, lives on Earth in his house, and he has a friend. His house is going to get demolished by the city, and he's angry about that. So he lies in front of his house so that the bulldozers won't run over it. So his friend, who's actually not human, he's from another planet.
And what planet is that?
I'm not sure the name, but like he's from another planet and takes human form. So he brings him to the bar because he tells him he has to tell him something really important.
Arthur thinks he's human.
Arthur thinks he's human, yeah. So he makes him drink like a few beers so that he'll mellow down.
Like 6.
Yeah, like 6
Huge.
beers. So then Arthur sees his house about to get demolished, runs out. So the alien guy's friend has this like I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a thing that gives you the signal when there's like things passing in the air. So these not alien ships, but like UFOs come down to Earth and want to destroy it.
Big yellow things.
Yeah, what are they called?
Big yellow things. What's the real name?
Oh, it's the Vogons.
Yeah, that's the
race. I think that's the race. Do you want to continue, McMillan? And like I'll sum it up. Like I think you've done chapter 1 and 2.
I'll try to find the name. You finish it up.
The Vogon constructors or something.
No, the handheld thing that we used to know. But you continue with it. I'll find it.
Okay, well, so the Vogons come down.
Okay, hold up. Like I think we should like switch off now.
Okay, go ahead.
You've done up to chapters 1 and 2 around, right?
Yeah, about that.
Okay, chapter 3 starts, and it takes a completely different perspective. It's on the other edge of the galaxy, I think, and it's with the president of the galaxy.
No, but, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's called the Subetha Sensomatic.
Yeah, okay, so
it's
that's
called
what.
Subetha Sensomatic.
You forgot to say first that so the Vogons come down. They said they're going to destroy the Earth.
Using like this crazy.
Yeah, because they're making like a wavelength
highway.
There is a galactic highway through the galaxy. So they say it's going to take like 2 Earth minutes to destroy the Earth.
Yeah.
So then it changes chapter and yes, you go ahead.
So then it changes chapter and it opens on the president of the galaxy, which turns out isn't as important as it would seem. And he's just someone who's laid back. Apparently he spent 2 years in prison, which isn't something good for a president, but they're supposed to have that. And he's on a speedboat on a planet. I'm not sure what the planet's called, but it's uninhabited. It's not very popular. So he arrives to make a speech on this planet, and he's waving to. And I'm not sure if like they're having relations of any form, but he waves and says hi to a girl. So yeah, that they knew each other beforehand and such. And during this speech, he's talking about a spaceship called the Heart of Gold, and that has something special to it. We don't really get, it doesn't really explain much about what it is so far, and he ends off his speech saying that he would like to steal the ship. And so
yeah, there's also what's his name, the alien that was
Ford Perfect.
Ford Perfect. Yeah,
Perfect.
he has the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's actually like a digital.
Yeah, it's a digital book.
Because if it was a book, it would take up 4 houses.
It looks a little bit like this.
It would be
The sticker right here.
Yeah. So it's like you
Don't
write
panic
in
on
whatever
it.
you want to know about, and it tells you.
Yeah.
So
And
should I continue?
it
on to
doesn't
the next
force like
chapter?
hit your ride on with someone.
Should I like?
Well, you
should I
forgot about
continue to
the
next
yeah.
you
chapter?
forgot about the president. He bombs them with like this thing that makes them all paralyzed, but then the chapter ends after he
Yeah,
reveals
so
that
like-
big spaceship that can like it's a revolutionary spaceship. And then
so
then you go back to the Vogons.
Then we go back and we open on Ford Prefect inside a ship. So he's inside the Vogon ship. He hitched a ride using some kind of thumb technology.
No,
The thumb.
yeah.
And,
but like it's
and
the
they-
cooks.
It's the cooks. Like the cooks aren't Vogons. They're apparently the best cooks in the universe.
Yeah.
And they work for the Vogons. Just they don't like the Vogons. They just like their money. And so they're led on the ship by the cooks. And Arthur, he says that he made Arthur drink all those beers because, like, something atomic structure, the beam that they beamed up onto.
The dentresses.
Yeah, the dentresses of the cooks. And the beam that they used to get onto the ship, that, like, molecular structure kind of thing, and that's why he made him drink so much alcohol.
Yeah.
And so he eats the peanuts that they got at the bar when we were still on Earth. And he doesn't really understand what's going on, but apparently they're in the cabin of
one of the
the
cooks.
Talking about the peanuts though, when he like got them, that had something to do with after Fort Prefect bought like 6 bags of peanuts.
Yeah.
There was like this thing that happened where everyone in the bar suddenly knew what was happening.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't
It
know.
was strange. It was like if you live really far away from home, you can like emit this like I don't know what it's called. But
Yeah, brain signal.
yeah, brain signal and
Like, what do the peanuts mean? Like, they mean
I
like
think it was just something to eat.
sometimes you eat something to remind them of birth.
So
I guess.
continuing on, they're in the Vogon ship, and then the Ford Prefect asks Arthur to stick a fish in his ear. So,
Yeah, and that fish translates.
and the
any
fish
language.
translates language. The fish looks like this. This is the fish.
It goes in your ear, it translates.
Things actually helping out. Let me see that.
Translates to any language.
So yeah, that's kind of what happened so far.
Got some Vogue.
And he begins to understand what the Vogan's actually saying, the captain. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says that we know there's intruders on the ship called hitchhikers. Those are hitchhikers, it's people who like go to galaxy to galaxy on different kinds of alien ships, and he knows they're there. And
I like they kind
he
of.
says that we're gonna find you, and then I might read you poetry. And what is that whole poetry thing about?
I don't
Like
know.
Vogons reading poetry.
I think that's gonna be revealed. Like I think it's maybe like.
But like on the hitchhiker's guide, it
It
says
says,
don't
"Never let
never
them
let
read you
a
poetry."
Vogon read you poetry.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Like I don't know what it means. Maybe like.
There's a couple things like that in the book that was pretty.
Yeah, that just leaves it like that. Like another
things
thing
you
like
don't
that was
expect,
like the buzzers.
pretty
The buzzers, like the rich kids that went to like uninhabited planets and just like
Yeah.
scare people
Yeah.
to make it think that they're actually like aliens.
Yeah. Like yeah.
Yeah, no,
really
that like
flipping out.
it kind of like adds into like real life. So
Yeah, like people saying I've seen UFOs and stuff like that. That's like,
well, that's just people screwing with their heads.
yeah.
So what do you guys think of Arthur?
Arthur.
He's kind of like mysterious.
he's kinda like an odd character,
Yeah,
yeah,
like, he's not. I don't know. There's
I
something
got like
about
a
him.
strange feeling from him, you know, like Ford was just like kind of
Well,
Ford was a bit
smart.
laid
Ford's a
back.
smart guy. Like
Ford was smart but like laid back at the same time. Like the president.
he knows what's going on. Ford.
The
Like,
president's name
Arthur
was.
was more
just
like
tags along.
knows like his like standpoint.
Well,
and,
why
like,
would Ford
doesn't
take
let
Arthur
anyone
with him?
stop him. Like when they're trying to demolish his house and he was like lying down. in
Yeah,
bed
like I don't know. It's like
The
why would
president-
Ford take Arthur with him?
because they're friends.
Yeah, because Ford came on Earth and was only supposed to stay like a few months or something, and ended up staying 6 or 7 years or 14 years.
But that was more because like you could there weren't any rides going out. Like as soon as the yellow ships came,
Yeah.
he got so
The
so
big
happy,
yellow something.
and then he realized that the tunnel was getting destroyed, and he was like,
Yeah. Well, now it's destroyed.
yeah.
So what do you guys think? Like Arthur, Ford was kind of just like smart, but like he was kind of like that sarcastic, smart, like dry humor kind of guy.
Yeah.
The president was just like
He
wild,
was just cocky. And, like,
wild, cocky,
Wild.
kind of crazy. But Arthur was just kind of weird. I don't know, like
The president.
He
I
seemed
think
like-
we're gonna get more like into my.
yeah, no, but
Yeah,
he
but
seemed
I-
like the kind of like depressive, kind of unenjoyable person to be around.
Yeah.
I think the president has like an evil plan behind everything.
Yeah, I think the president was planning out
He's
this
just,
whole
I
thing.
don't think.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, the government's like corrupt, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, that's for sure. We get into that, and now like.
Maybe our
Well,
story will be
to
like
hire to
taking
make
out the
somebody a
government.
president who has no power, like that's kind
He's
of.
just like a puppet for
Yeah.
everybody else in the background.
But then again, like
He seems to have a master
in the U.S. and stuff, all like the president elections, most of them are just puppets being controlled by other people. A
Yeah.
lot of the decisions they make aren't.
Bogans
their
aren't the
decisions.
nicest looking things, is what they're supposed to
Even
be.
in Canada, there's a lot of corruption going
I
on.
don't know why you can't read poetry.
It says that too, Bogan poetry.
It's like
Don't know.
the Elder Scroll. You can't read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of Skyrim edition.
So what are you saying? You're saying like.
Okay, so we went into the characters a bit. Themes, you guys see anything there?
It was pretty, I found it pretty cool
It was
when,
pretty-
like just like the end of the world kind of situation.
Yeah,
When there was like 2 minutes left before they
Then no
destroyed
sympathy,
everything.
or like it'll take 2 or 3 minutes and that's
And it was cool, like, it was cool to see like how
And the guy's
the
pleading
humans
and-
react and stuff.
Yeah, I think the guy's pleading for them to like not destroy it and doesn't have any sympathy or anything like that. He doesn't care. But then,
And
I
then
love
the
what
irony,
she-
the irony was that like they're like, well, you could have filed a complaint.
Yeah,
Like, the same thing that happened to Arthur when
Yeah,
they
Yeah,
destroyed
and
his
it's
house.
exactly the same thing. Like it's the same thing. Like for Arthur's house, it was an off ramp and
Yeah.
or something like that. And
But it's kind of evil because like they knew they
But
couldn't
also
file a
how
complaint. 'cause
the
they-
Vogon leader, like when he's in the ship, he thinks to himself like he has a feeling that, like a bad feeling when he destroys the whole planet with a bunch of people on it. Like like at some point it says like he doesn't feel normal when he like destroys like a bunch of people. You know what I mean? Like he feels some sympathy, but he doesn't know that.
you can't really do much about it. Like
Yeah, and he
He
gets
doesn't have
mad.
like a conscience.
Yeah, like, but like at the same time he does, because he does
he
feel something.
has like
He,
a
like,
conscience.
maybe,
I think
like,
what it
feels
was
some
is like
shit.
he has like a conscience, just
Really.
not really like he can't really do anything about it since it's like an order or something.
He feels like he doesn't feel much, but he like in his mind he knows it should be on.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that was a good description.
Okay, for the setting.
Settings.
Like,
Well,
it's
we have
pretty-
like a couple of them actually. There's like
Check
mirrors.
this stuff.
How much time was elapsed?
12 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, the setting.
So there's like the earth and the pub and stuff. Like there's a bit of Arthur's house.
Yeah, and then like the president's on a whole different galaxy. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
like.
not really explained. Like, why did they jump to the president? So it's gonna have a big meaning in the story. I think
I
that's
think
what's
it's gonna
collide.
tie in like.
It was
Yeah.
pretty evil though when they were taking over the world. They're like, you could follow the complaint, but it was like interstellar, like a completely different
Yeah.
galaxy that they didn't even know existed.
And the president, when he unveils the thing, like it says that he pulls something out of his pocket, and a spaceship appears.
Yeah.
No, then the bomb.
Oh, yeah, the ball. Are you talking about?
Yeah, and a spaceship, like a white spaceship appears, and it's supposedly like a huge innovation in technology. Like the Vogons say something about it, like they're gonna be able to like travel the galaxy in a way that's never been, yeah, go through the galaxy in a way that's never been done before.
So I think we have a couple of starter themes. So for one,
At this point, like,
maybe, like
what do you think is like?
a bit of mysterious kind of thing.
Is like kind of implied that the Vogons are the most advanced race that exists at the moment.
No, I don't think
No,
it's.
they said they weren't that.
It said that they didn't have evolved like at all. So
Yeah,
I think
That they
maybe
were-
it's
they-
like that
they
they're
were
just like the
primitive
one that
species.
runs. I think it's just.
I don't think
that
they
they're
have a
not-
big. I don't think later on in the book they'll be there anymore. I think it's just for the purpose of them getting on something. And then I think it's gonna be between like something's gonna happen with Arthur and Ford and with the president. I think the president's gonna.
I don't think there's gonna be. I don't think the Vogons are really like top notch. Like I think they're.
No, they're just like.
They're pretty uninvolved. It's just that they have like a position of power because they make up the board of the universe.
Well, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. It says
There's
the
probably
president-
more advanced races that just like aren't getting involved.
But going back to the president, it says he has like another head and a third arm that comes out.
Ski boxing.
And then like when he arrives at that planet, he gets into like a bubble with like a velvet couch on it. It says, and he puts his like his arms like that, and then he says like it's not the best means of transportation, but sure is one of the nicest. And like I'm not sure, it doesn't really say what happened, but then he ends up with all the press, like all the media.
And you can kind of tell he's a bit like ruthless, I guess.
Yeah, like, yeah,
Because
he
like
cares
there's like
about
the person
everything.
offering the speech, like the speech that was like handwritten for him.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
then he just like throws it away.
He just doesn't want it.
I think that's part of the Vogon race though, like not having like a conscience.
No, but he's not a Vogon. The president's not a Vogon.
Um,
He's like they don't tell us what kind of
Creature he
what
is.
kind of creature he is, I guess. So I guess we'll find out later on if it matters.
So the settings, well, there's the broom closet, there's Earth, there's the pub,
Yeah.
there's the planet that what's his name is on. President.
Yeah.
Does the president, yeah, the president kind of like controls the Vogon.
Yeah.
Not really. Apparently, they say that he has no power. Just only 6 people in the universe know that he has no power.
Yeah.
He doesn't control them, but he like uses them.
That's why he's a
Yeah,
puppet to like those 6 people that ultimately have a, I think, an evil plan for the galaxy or whatever their plans are. And I wonder like why they destroyed Earth to make a highway, a galaxy highway. I don't know if that'll be like if it'll matter later on, like if it'll come back. Like, they never
Well,
mentioned
guys,
that Earth
we
was
did
actually
just start
destroyed.
yeah, they did.
They said
Yeah, because when they
said
were
Earth is
talking
destroyed.
about
Pretty sure they didn't mention it.
when they were talking about what's it called, the girl, like the girl that the president waved to, they said she looked like a bit like a Arabic personality.
Yeah.
She had like the Arabic personality, but nobody there knew what an Arab was, and they didn't know that they were just destroyed a couple of seconds ago.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes like into that a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. We get a lot of questions are unanswered now, but that's just because
Exactly, but we're literally in like 6 chapters of the book. So.
Yeah. Okay, so like plot.
Plot so far, it's just that they're trying for the president. Well, plot. It kind of leaves it hanging there that he's
Yeah,
Kinda like
that he
shows that there's like a corrupt government.
Yeah, corrupt government. That he shows that big spaceship that's gonna be revolutionary. He paralyzes everybody, and then it gets skips to the next chapter where they're back on the boat.
Another one could be like trying to survive, like Arthur and Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they survived the Earth, and I was just trying to like, I don't know, it might either go into like surviving or like just hitchhiking and like
Yeah, different
traveling to different planets and
I think
stuff.
that's what it is. That's why he has a hitchhiker's guide. Because Ford Perfect is a hitchhiker. He says it like that. He's been to different places and
But he
he's,
says that he's trying to make like a new one because like
a hitchhiker also.
yeah.
he also says he's trying to make a new Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because the other one's out of date.
Yeah, like when you say Earth, like there's one word to describe it. It's
Like a digital, they like digital watches or something.
no, it's like powerless or harmful, not harmless, unharmless. And then like he says like since you've been here you didn't update it, and then it's like then he adds another word like very unharmless. Let me find it. Like yeah, so that's like pretty crazy. He's been there for 7 years and doesn't add anything to the world or stuff like that.
At the beginning of the book, they mentioned that like the dad described Earth though as like inhabitants that find digital watches interesting, and that was like the definition.
Yeah, that was odd.
Mostly harmless. It starts with harmless, and he adds mostly harmless, which like is, I guess
Yeah.
it's pretty.
I think that's the last title of the book though.
And then what did I say?
There's like 5 books.
Oh yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah. At the beginning.
So there's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the restaurant at the end of the universe,
Oh, yeah, and then,
the
like-
universe and everything.
When Arthur's in the spaceship and he's thinking about like the world and how it's gone, like he thinks about just like the world disappearing, doesn't get any emotion. That thinks about.
Yeah, I think Arthur is one of those people that's like hard to read because he's just like, well,
Then, but then he thinks about New York, and he gets like a piercing, like he feels bad about that, and then he thinks about his family, doesn't get anything, thinks about a complete stranger he saw at a supermarket, and again he feels like it's
I think
weird.
it's a bit. He's a weird person so far. I think we're gonna get deeper.
Maybe something that's past happened to him that
Yeah, like
kind of screwed him up.
because he was living in that house alone, going back to that house, and then like he just.
And
wakes
then
up
when they
somewhere.
like
He even
destroyed
said
that,
it
he was
wasn't
like
like the
completely
nicest
crushed.
house.
Yeah.
Maybe that house meant something to him when I was. But it wasn't even the nicest house. Apparently, it was just.
Yeah.
Just brick, right?
Yeah, like they said, like it meant nothing to anyone but him.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it's his old family house, or like they don't talk about his family.
Or
at
maybe
all.
it's just the house he bought, and like it's the only thing he has in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't go into detail that much about Arthur yet. Like what he does as a living, what he does.
They went a bit into detail about Ford Prefect's dad, but
That's another element of short stories of like foreshadowing and going back like flashbacks.
Yeah.
so maybe they're gonna add that in soon.
Flashbacks
Yeah, later
of Arthur's life.
What do we have for time?
19, so like 5 more minutes. Okay, so the plot, setting, theme,
We kind of talked. We
Character.
didn't really go with that deep into the theme. You want to go try?
Protagonists and antagonists?
Well, so far the protagonists, I guess,
Is that
Arthur,
Ford and
Ford.
Arthur, antagonist for sure, president, I think. in my
I think the
opinion.
protagonist is more Ford though, and antagonist is Arthur. Because
Well,
Arthur
because you
is.
start off with Arthur, so like I'm not sure.
I know, that's why.
Yeah,
Maybe I think Arthur's like I think they're both.
How would the antagonist be Arthur,
Protagonist.
wouldn't it be the president?
No, I
No, no,
think
no,
president.
protagonist. I don't know. I'm not sure
I
about the
think it's two
president either.
protagonists, but I think Arthur is the main character, because they start off with him, his like, Ford is just his friend.
Yeah, but I think Ford's also like a protagonist in this situation.
Well,
Yeah.
they start off with Arthur, but then they go into detail of Ford and like his
I
life.
don't know, I feel like the book's more about Arthur than Ford.
I think it's a mix of the two. I
Yeah,
guess.
but like,
But I'm
I
not
feel
sure
it'll
about the
split off more.
antagonist.
we'll
Wonder
figure it out. Antagonist, president,
I'm not sure-
really antagonists.
I'm not
it's
sure
just
about the president.
they're
I don't
just
know.
like tools.
I don't
secondary
know.
characters.
I don't think we know enough about the president to say that
Well, from what we've
he's an
seen,
antagonist.
So far, he looks like the
So
antagonist.
far, he just looks like somebody that doesn't care. Like I don't know, like he doesn't. I mean,
Maybe the people controlling the president are the antagonist.
maybe the Vogons are there. I think the Vogons are definitely an antagonist, seeing how they destroy a whole planet.
yeah, but at the same time, I feel like they won't have a big part in the story. I think once they leave that ship, they won't come back to them. That's
I'm
my
not sure.
feeling. I don't know.
That's like a theory, though. Like again, anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen right now. Like they leave us with a bunch of cliffhangers.
So
Yeah, so
another antagonist could be Mr. Prosser.
who's that?
So
The guy that wants to destroy the house.
Well, but that's just a secondary character.
I know, but that's an antagonist.
And he's pretty stupid too. Like how Ford
Brainwashed.
calms him into like to like
That was the
lying.
weirdest scene.
That was
I
weird.
didn't
Yeah,
get that
it was
at
a
all.
bit. It was
He's
a bit-
like, you're gonna
Like,
sit
does
here.
Ford,
It's like,
does,
okay.
does Ford have like powers or something like as an alien?
He might like
Because they were talking about the
mind
game.
control,
They were
mind
talking
control.
about the game with the drink, and you have to try and pour it into the other person's glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so let's go back to theme then. What more about the theme?
Yeah, that was weird. Like you have to tip over the glass with your mind to like
Yeah,
pour
no. So
into
maybe
the
he
cup.
has like some kind of
And the
mind
first
power.
guy to do it, like the other guy should drink it.
Yeah, and also when they talk about Ford, they say like he's an alien in human form, and so that people don't know he's very generous and buys people drinks. Like they say when he bought the beer for the guy, bought whiskey for the guy right next to him. So he's a generous guy. Like he seems pretty nice up to now. He brought Arthur on the ship with him.
And
I
he's
think
giving,
Ford just doesn't care. Like he probably has access to like all this like money and stuff.
and he's giving change to like exchange.
Like Ford-
He's probably not rich, but he has
Bartender.
like ways of like I don't know making money that is exactly
Yeah,
the
maybe he
same or
doesn't
something.
like he's fine. Like he's giving like
Because he has all this like really vast technology. So
Yeah, like
But he does give like extreme change. Is it like I'm not sure how much is like £5.
Yeah, like they see like twice he gives like a $5, not £5, £5.
$500.
Is that $500?
I don't know.
I'm pretty-
I don't
I
know.
don't know
what
if it
he
was
did.
£5. I don't think it was in the England. I just
Was
I
it
think it's-
Yeah, it is
£5?
in
No.
England. Yeah.
oh
And then because he thinks back, he's like England's gone, and he doesn't get a reaction. Thinks about New York, which is not even his city, and he gets it.
Does theirs have that? Because I don't think mine does.
I think I read that. I don't think it's a big part of it, but
I might have skipped over it.
yeah. So
Like-
there's a lot of stuff that's not answered yet. It's gonna get answered later on.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really a good start, but like,
It's an interesting.
I think it's a really good way to start a book, because if you read like the first 6 chapters, there's a lot left unanswered, which would let you
Yeah,
want
like
to
a lot
read
of books
more.
start off slow and then pick up. This like starts very like
Moderately
says,
fast, like.
he gave the barman another £5 note.
Yeah, so I think it's in England. Pretty sure.
And-
And
well,
so,
not-
but that would be. He's just.
I think it's probably.
They're just showing he's generous.
Yeah.
Because it says it's 28 pence. I
How
think.
much is a £5 note though? Like how much is £5?
Is pence like coins for?
I think so. Probably like if it's like 98 pence. or
Like I
something
think
like
one
that.
of us would have to look that up. Like,
Yeah, we'll look
how
that
it
up.
is.
Like for the next book club meeting, we'll talk about that more. If it's relative, like next book club, we'll see.
It's probably not relevant
I don't-
towards
yeah.
the rest of the story.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
showing
probably
a
not
character
relevant.
trait at Ford. Saying
Could you look that up right now since you have your iPad here?
Unless
But saying he's like, it's just.
They
I think it's
somehow
just saying he's a generous
go
guy.
back in time and save.
Yeah, again, like that could happen. You never
With,
know.
with the modern technology, yeah. Well, the
This
crazy
is like,
technology that they have.
this book is about search up pounds and pence or something.
Yeah.
But like you never know like about the amount of weird stuff that's already happened in this book. Like,
Did you guys see any foreshadowing in it?
foreshadowing. Well, there was like the president's talk about like a plan. Like he said he had a plan.
Oh yeah, but more like subtle stuff. I guess you can't see that, so you can
Yeah.
get an idea maybe, but
Well, you saw like
it's
that.
more obvious when it actually happens.
Well, like you saw that the aliens, the Vogons, they kind of understood that they were on the ship.
Yeah, like how did they know?
Well, apparently, like the cook was smiling, and whenever a cook smiles.
Oh yeah, he knows something's wrong, so he gets on the intercom, tells them we're gonna find you.
Well, I didn't.
And if you're lucky, I'll get you Vogon poetry. So,
I don't know if Vogon poetry. That's a foreshadow, maybe Vogon
that,
poetry.
yeah, what's gonna happen?
What's Vogon poetry?
Everybody say Vogon poetry is bad and it's torture. I guess we'll see what happens. And so, yeah, like in conclusion.
Maybe it's just incredibly depressing.
I guess
Everyone's
it's
gonna die.
Like the level of depressing is like way over like Earth levels of depressingness.
So it just
So
like
you
puts you
literally sit
into
there like you want to kill yourself.
like, do you
it
think
just puts you into a state where
there's
it's
usually
just
be a
like
lot more characters?
I
Come
think
in?
so.
I like the
yeah.
fact that
They'll definitely meet up with like new characters as they go in when hitchhiking. I feel like the story's gonna continue with like them hitchhiking, and they're
the value of these
and there's gonna
characters
be-
again. Like how do we?
and they're gonna like hear
Yeah,
stories
that's-
and
that's
see
the-
things that are happening
That's
with
just
like
what we're
the
gonna
rest
see
of the
later
stuff.
on, and some characters that we see now might not be important in the future. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, it's been a good book up to now.
It's been pretty interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to continuing
Yeah.
to read
A
this.
lot of cliffhangers, a lot of questions unanswered. Guess we'll see what happens in the future.
Okay, go check your time.
How much time?
26, perfect.